Didn't. Self-love matters. Now, how many people have said, I love myself when my kids are happy? I love myself when my spouse or partner or friends are happy. I love myself when my parents are happy. I love myself when I get that new job, get that promotion, or buy that new home. Or I love myself when I find the time. When I find the time.
Or when I lose 20 pounds.
Or when I lose 20 pounds. When I find the time and lose 20 pounds, I will love myself. Somebody's coming in. Okay. Recently, I had the privilege of being with 3 loved ones as they faced the end of their lives. 2 were in their senior years when they died. 1 was decades too soon. 2 were married, 1 was not. 2 were straight, 1 was gay. 2 were raised during the Depression era, and 1 was raised in the early 70s. And despite their differences, and they all led very different lives, they all had something in common as they faced death. As they reflected back over their lives and the mistakes they thought they had made, such as the things they wish they had done but didn't, as well as the things they wish they hadn't done but did, there was one devastating disappointment that kept coming back to them, kept haunting them. One particular regret. You see, despite their differences, they all had the same regret. They all regretted that they had not loved themselves more. All of them, every single one, had the same regret. You know, when we look outside of ourselves for our value or our worth, we're not only setting ourselves up for failure, but we're also looking for others to give us something that we can only find within inside of ourselves. Literally inside of ourselves. We're looking outside of ourselves for something that can only be found inside of ourselves. It can be a temporary fix if you find something outside of yourself. And just like any drug, you'll get used to it. And then you'll need more of it to make yourself feel better about yourself. Just like social media. Look at social media. You do 1 post, you get 1 like, you feel good about yourself. Next post, you need 10 likes. And then before you know it, you need 30, 40, 50 in order to feel good about yourself. And God forbid somebody say something negative or dislike one of your posts, you crash. This yo-yoing feeling is not social media's fault. People are wrongly accusing social media of being the culprit for what we feel about ourselves. We're the culprits. We are the culprits because we are looking for something on the outside that can only be found within inside of ourselves. Now the good news is, if we're the culprits, then we're also the ones to rescue ourselves. Now I found this out the long way around. I spent years studying spirituality, metaphysics, personal growth. I did all the exercises, all the techniques, all the affirmations and meditations, everything I could do to change my life for the better. But nothing lasted, nothing, maybe for a week, maybe 2 weeks at the tops, but nothing really lasted. Until I decided to go to the root of the problem, my lack of self-love. Now that's not to say I didn't have self-love, I did. If you are walking around the planet, you have some sense of self-love, or frankly, you wouldn't be alive. But mine was flexible, shaky, if you would, and could be nudged in the wrong direction with just the right wording. It was in trouble. So I began the journey for me, so I could feel better and be better. I wanted to stop criticizing, stop judging myself, stop doubting myself. I wanted to stop trying to worry that somehow I was not as good as everybody else was. I wanted to stop waiting for something to show up to make me feel that I mattered, that I had value. I wanted to stop making myself so small so everybody else could be a bit more comfortable. I think a lot of us have that one. And I wanted to stop waiting for somebody to show up to make me feel loved. I wanted to love myself. So, with a new zeal and a sense of urgency, thanks to those 3 who shared their regrets with me, I began to connect to love on a much deeper level than ever before, removing everything that stood between me and the truth of that love. Now here's where things got interesting. Sort of a twist in the story, so to speak. As I was growing in my self-love, I began to experience unexpected, long-lasting side effects that I could not have anticipated. As I was learning to practice self-compassion with myself for my stumbles and mistakes, and I had a lot of those, I began to have more compassion for others' stumbles and mistakes as well. As I taught myself to practice self-acceptance for my weaknesses and flaws, and there were a hell of a lot of those, frankly, I began to have more acceptance for others' flaws and weaknesses as well. As I taught myself to stop looking on the for outside validation and learn to look inwardly and appreciate and feel gratitude for myself, I began to feel appreciation and gratitude for others. Now, psychological studies have not long known there is a correlation between someone with a higher sense of self-esteem and therefore has a higher sense of empathy and compassion for others. But I didn't know that at the time. I did not expect that as I was changing my feelings about myself, I was also changing my feelings about other people. As I was growing in my value and worth, I began to see everybody else as valuable and worthy as well. Now, I started this journey simply as a way to add a bit more love into my life, but I forgot something. Self-love is about love, and love is contagious. You cannot contain it to just one area. It will spread. So as I was growing in my love and compassion and kindness for myself, I automatically was growing in love and compassion and kindness for other people, and there was nothing I could do about it. That's why I often say, forget loving your neighbor. Because when you actually love yourself, you automatically have more love for your neighbor. Now, there was something I did do about it. I did write a book about it called The Heart of the Matter. And what I'd like